Hi everyone. So today we've got a video on moon through the elements. So your moon sign. I felt this is significant because the moon sign is really in astrology is associated with our emotions, our instinct, nurturing, and the unconscious mind. And that's why sometimes if you look at readings or certain tarot readings, you might associate more with your moon sign for that particular tarot reader, or for that particular month. You might find your moon sign speaks more to you because you're tapped into your emotions more than what you want on a physical external world, in terms of how the world views you and your personality as well. So that's also why in the readings I say check your sun, moon, rising and Venus signs, and if there's a heavy sort of planet taking action or playing a big part in the astrology in the weeklies I say check to check that sign as well. But today let's look at the moon through the elements of fire, water, earth and air. Now if you don't have a natal chart, I'm able to do one for you and we can work through it, especially if you want to go on your life purpose or you're thinking what your life purpose may be. So I do natal chart readings. There are obviously websites that give you a natal chart if you just want to check your moon sign and then revert back to this. That is possible as well. The moon sign is considered feminine. It's a receptive planet and it's linked to the zodiac sign of Cancer. It's also associated with one's childhood, family and personal relationships, which would make sense. It's a placement in a person's birth chart, said to reveal information about their emotional needs and tendencies. And I would say in your relationship as well as your Venus sign, it gives the other person, so if you're a cross watcher, you might want to check the other person's, let's say you're a fire moon, but your person is an air moon, you might want to check air as well, because you might understand them at a deeper significance, because it's about the emotional need and tendencies. Whatever element it is in, the meaning and significance means the same. So let's kick into it, but I would be interested to know what element is your moon sign in, and also then once you've seen the reading, how does it really relate for you? So I'm just looking at my notes as we do an intro and then as I discuss each element. So the moon is a luminary in astrology that represents our unconscious, our deepest and personal needs. The most basic habits that we have. It's opposite to our sun sign, and where the sun describes how we shine in life, the moon tells us how we express our deepest feelings, how we behave in personal emotional situations, our basic instincts or how we respond to others, and of course how we are in our private lives. And that's why you might find readings sometimes you connect with the moon sign because it speaks to you on a deeper level. If you look at your moon on more lateral level, your moon sign can even show the relationships you have and had with your maternal family figures in your life. You can understand that the moon only shares and shines in darkness. Now, there are a lot of people that follow the cycle of the moons and really do rituals around the moons. And I think there is light work manifestation that can be done during that time, but there is also darkness around it. So I would say and advise you just to always be careful and see who you're trusting in terms of that sort of work. That's just like a side note that came to me to state, and it speaks to someone. Therefore, most people, so when the moon only shines in darkness, most people will only feel comfortable and at ease showing their vulnerable moon sides when they are safe from judging and praying eyes. So when you know you're safe and you can trust someone, you're more open and being vulnerable. That's what I mean there. It's safe to also say that not only those near and dear to your hearts will only ever know your true moon side to you, as it's the most private place of yourself. Now, if we go into the elements, and I'm keeping this very short and simple so that you can come back to any point in time and you can go through all the elements if you're cross watching, because you don't, I mean, for me, I wouldn't just cross watch a lover. It might be that I need to cross watch a parental figure or a sibling or someone in my family or circle of friends that I feel are acting a bit weird, and how maybe they're receiving me. It will give me that idea. And also, if you're in a conflict with someone that you love, you might want to revert back to this at any point in time. It might give you an epiphany of like, got it, why they might have reacted that way. It's not 100%. So moon and fire, which is Aries, Leo and Sag. Fire moons rely on their instincts and are passionate and full of burning energy. They tend to react quickly to situations and ask questions afterwards. Their emotions are inclined to be full of dramatic flair and quick impulses. They tend to show their feelings quickly and can even reach boiling point quite fast. Some will hold on to it, and then if they reach boiling point, boom. I would also say with some fire signs, there is an element of liking to be leadership. There could be an element of also, for example, a Sag might not want to be suffocated. Aries, definitely element of leadership. Leo may need not only their ego, but attention. So it depends, but they're the main sort of themes for fire moon. And don't forget, like, someone in their 20s may be very much more impulsive than someone who's been through life, burnt a few times and realizes not to be. But the natural state is that at some stage they might be impulsive. So moon and earth moons are known to be the most rational moons of the zodiac, grounded really. They belong to Virgo, Capricorn and Taurus. Earth represents all things tangible within our grasp. So these signs are common sense and use rationality to what they are emotionally experiencing. The emotions of an earth moon are centered when all things are predictable and concrete. They can become unshaken when there is an unplanned interruption in their routines. That's because earth signs are quite structured. And some of them like routines, but there's a lot of tangibility in what they like to do. They like to be grounded as well. They're not impulsive like fire signs. And I don't know if you know Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn. You might find, depending on if you're a fire sign or a water sign, you might find that actually they're quite grounded and just flowing. So, you know, they're really how they are. And because the water signs are actually quite known to be absorbing of the energies around them, that's why the earth signs, and you'll see as I go into water and air, why the earth signs really are able to be more stable and grounded during moon cycles, and where we know there's a heavy moon of release or solar eclipse, etc. So moon in water, which is Scorpio, Cancer, which represents the moon, and Pisces. Water moons are the most intuitive moons of the whole zodiac. They can literally soak up all the energies around them. Because of this, they're deeply intuitive in the emotions of others and may even instinctively react to situations and things that have not yet occurred. So if you have a water moon in Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you may feel that you're more intuitive than maybe your circle. Maybe you are, sometimes you get little nudges, but you're not sure where they're coming from. You might find during moon cycles you are more intuitive, or you get more signs, or your dreams are heavier. Now, you do hear a lot in astrology about water signs being the most intuitive and psychic. It really does depend on your other placements. So, for example, Sagittarius is one that really doesn't often get its recognition for how much of an alchemist and prophecy they are, and they can be very psychic depending on their abilities. It could be, you know, clairvoyant, clairsentient, they could be psychic, they could, there's different forms obviously of receiving that. So don't just hear, oh, this person is a moon water sign, they're a psychic. It doesn't work, but they are more intuitive. Moon in air moons tend to be articulate, logical, and process emotions as they would with any information in their heads. Now, air signs are very much in their head, in their mental sphere. Air moons can live in their heads, so whether they're, what I just mentioned about air signs is really whether they're sun, moon, rising, Venus, etc. There's an element of being in their head. And some of them can be a lot in their head and logical thinking. And that's why, for example, Gemini, they say about, and Libra, there's an indecisiveness, isn't there? So air moons can live in their head, so they might tend to talk about their emotions to understand and connect with them properly. And I do recommend that if you're an air sign. Others could perceive them as being detached or even a little cold, as they need to compartmentalize their feelings. And that's why it's good for them to either vocalize their emotions or write it down if you are an air sign, because when it's in your head, it's just like very heavy, but more so, it's very different from when you actually vocalize your emotions. So if you've met a friend for a coffee and you explain a situation that's been in your head ruminating all day, you feel better after you leave. It's very similar situation. But they're not cold. They just need to understand all the mental plane that's in their head. Those who have their moon sign in Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini are air moons. So they're the most significant patterns. And if you wanted to more details on that, I can go into it a lot more, but I thought it would be good to make a short video so that when you're dating someone new, or you have a little bit of a squabble with someone but you care about them, you might want to cross-watch and also understand yourself and maybe some of your impulses, and make people aware. Don't be shy about it, because they might not necessarily know that's your nature, and there's a reason for it. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to have more themes like this, please do comment, because I will upload more, and let me know what you took from it. I will do timestamps for the different elements, and I'll see you in our next video, everyone. Have a blessed day wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.